So guess what? The Fever actually shocked everyone by beating the Dream in Game 3, and now they are in the semis, and people are buzzing if Caitlin Clark might come back or not. But the crazy part is, they were down by 5 with just 2 minutes left and still turned it around, even though the Dream had all the odds, and after losing so many players this season, still making top 4 and winning this series is just huge, and you could see how much it meant to them right after the game. Fans might have been mad at Stephanie White all season about how she handled Caitlin Clark, but you gotta admit, she kept this team steady through all the ups and downs, and somehow held everyone together, even with players coming and going non-stop. And the proof is right there because they are heading to the semis. And then Kelsey Mitchell said some really sweet things about her, which makes you think there is way more happening in that locker room than we get to see.
Coach White has done a good job of talking about how much you guys mean to her. What does she mean to you? Maybe you as well.
Oh man, I've had 5 coaches in 8 years. I've been on, the worst, record teams here in Indiana Fever, so I know where my career started at. I know what I've kind of had to go through to kind of be in this position. I've never had a coach that poured into me respectfully like Steph has. I go where I'm valued, and I've never really felt that as a pro. And so for the first time in my career, I really feel like I have someone that values what I bring to the table as a player and a person. Not just a player, but as a person. So I always love Steph because she gave me an opportunity to kind of be who I am. And it's hard to do that and be that as a professional athlete. And when you find coaches that believe in you, I'll never take it for granted. So thank you, Coach.
So looking at what comes next, yeah, there were complaints this season, and sure, some stuff could have been done better, but still there were players who really stood out, and the vibe in the locker room feels tight, and with Caitlin back next season, they could totally be contenders. And right after the game, the Fever admin had the best clap back at ESPN for picking them to lose, which is perfect because in sports you prove yourself on the court, and then you throw shade when it counts. And meanwhile, Alicia Gray looked extra sensitive, getting a fan tossed just for a little heckle like, come on, someone get her a tissue, and the Fever showed how tough they are by not caring when people booed them after winning. Like, come on, Kath, start the investigation for hate speech right now, because how dare fans cheer against the other team, right? But honestly, that's exactly how you deal with it. You just laugh it off because this is a sport, not a therapy session, and you tell those 300-something fans to go home and cry into their pillows, while the Fever's reaction of brushing it off and owning the moment got them tons of praise and totally showed how it should be done.
Caitlin Clark showing you guys how to interact with the fans. You don't pull a Kalia Copper and go to the post-game podium and complain about fans booing. It's a part of the game. Caitlin Clark didn't pull an Angel Reese and get a whole fake racism investigation started because opposing fans are booing you. This is stardom. This is how you handle booing fans. You don't go get a fake investigation started because you can't handle people booing you.
So bringing it back to Caitlin Clark, everyone is buzzing now that the Fever won. Like, could she actually come back? Because we all saw those clips of her practicing in Atlanta and even bouncing around on the sideline. So clearly her body looks ready. And Scott Agnes even said, it's not about the groin anymore. So the chance feels real.
Scott Agnes, it's the groin. It's not the groin, it's the ankle. It's not the groin, it's the ankle. People saying stop lying, man. Scott Agnes is the one person that's been legit. He's the one person, regardless of what you've said, he's what you think about him. He is the closest thing to an insider.
People might love or hate Scott for what he said about Fever fans, but the thing is, he is super close to the team and never really says anything that is not basically approved, so you can take his word as solid, and that is great news because if Caitlin's groin is fine, then she will either be back really soon or at the very least be ready to start strong next season. And with how the Fever have already beaten the Aces twice this year, there is no reason to think they can't actually make the finals.
You actually just referenced it twice. It is Indiana. dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the real aces yet. They caught us when we were a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us.
And honestly, if you think about it, the rest of the WNBA should be begging for Caitlin to be back on the court because the league has been struggling so bad with ratings. Barely anyone watching, and everyone knows the second she plays again, those numbers would explode. We are talking about millions of people tuning in, TV deals, sponsors, social media buzz, everything shoots up. And that is the kind of attention this league has been chasing for years. And Breanna Stewart even talked about how there should be enough money coming in to actually respect and even pay back the older players who worked so hard to build this league from nothing. And while that's a whole different messy debate, the point is the league needs eyes and Caitlin brings them. But here's the kicker. The Fever already officially ruled her out for the playoffs. And that means once she is taken off the roster, she is gone for good this season, no matter how far the Fever go, no matter how exciting the story might be. There is zero chance she comes back for a Hollywood-style ending because those are the rules. Once you're off, you're off. And that makes fans wonder why on earth the Fever made that choice. Maybe they never believed the team could actually push this deep into the playoffs and figured it was safer to just shut her down early and not risk it. But now here they are proving everyone wrong, and suddenly that cautious move feels like it could haunt them, because imagine the boost of having her even for a few minutes in these big games. The crowd, the cameras, the energy would have been unreal, and instead they have to move forward without her, while the rest of the league secretly knows that their ratings and attention would be so much better if she was playing. So the bottom line is, whatever the real reason behind the decision might be, the Fever have locked it and Caitlin is not going to play again in 2025. And for a lot of fans that stings because everyone feels like she actually could have pushed through and made it work, since that is what elite players do. When the playoffs roll around, they tape it up, they grit their teeth and they go, because that is when legends are made. And part of you can't help but think how crazy the atmosphere would have been if she suited up even for a few minutes in these games. But still, if you are someone who really supports Caitlin, you can't ignore the heart this Fever team has shown. Without her, they were supposed to fold after all the injuries and all the drama, but instead they dug deep and pulled off moments nobody thought they could, and that shows something about their character. And that spirit only makes things look brighter for next season, when Caitlin returns healthy and ready to change everything again. And honestly, if she keeps rocking those black Air Force Ones that have already become kind of her trademark look, and if the lucky corgi magic keeps working, then the Fever could seriously be on the path to a fairy tale Cinderella-style run that takes them even further, because they already have the grit, the chemistry, and the fight, and what they don't have right now is just waiting for Caitlin to bring it back into the mix. So really it comes down to what the basketball gods want to do with them, because they have shown they are ready to give it everything, and sometimes that energy is exactly what makes crazy dreams turn real. If you are still here with right now, then you really are something special, because sticking all the way through to the very end shows a level of dedication that not everybody has, and that automatically makes you the real winner here, because while so many people click off halfway or scroll past without even catching the whole story, you stayed locked in from beginning to end. And that tells me you are not just any fan, you are the type who actually loves the details, the twists, the drama, and the vibe. And honestly, without people like you, none of this would even matter, because the energy you bring is what keeps everything alive. So go ahead and drop the biggest, loudest you can in the comments right now, because you have earned it more than anyone, and let it stand there like a little badge of honor that proves you stuck around through every word, every moment, and every turn, and that you are part of the small crew that never misses out. And when you think about it, those little W comments build a whole secret club inside the crowd, like the real ones who actually know what went down, while the rest only skim through. And that is the fun part, because being here till the end makes you part of that inner circle, and it sets you apart from everyone else. And I just want you to remember that this is only one chapter in a story that is going to keep getting crazier and more fun. So the fact that you stayed all the way to the last word right now means you are ready to ride along no matter what comes next. So keep dropping those wins, keep showing up, and keep that same spirit alive. Because at the end of the day, you are the reason this whole thing keeps moving, and in my eyes, you will always be the real champion. If you like this video, subscribe to the Michaela Buckets